Good afternoon, my friends. My name's Justin. Welcome to my channel. I'm a session guitarist here in Nashville, Tennessee, and in today's video, I would like to ask the question, are the current top 5 country songs failing the genre, or are they kind of turning back to country's roots? I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I went into this not knowing how to play any of these songs. I figured them out very quickly on the spot. I have a pretty decent ear, and I'm basically showing you how to play them. And in the video, I used my 59 335, and I also have another video coming out with this guitar where I'm going to shoot it out against various levels of other 335s. I have a kind of mid-grade vintage 335. It's a 1982. It's blonde, and that's a fantastic guitar. I borrowed my buddy Bobby Holland's 1964 Murphy Lab, like the top of the reissue heap, right? And then I asked him if any of the other people who lease rooms at the studio he manages, if any of them have like a low-end 335, like an Epiphone Dot or something. And he said no, but an artist he works with has a Dot with Seymour Duncan Antiquities. And I was like, man, that's perfect. Because I know as well as you do, if one of us were to buy an Epiphone Dot, first thing we're going to do is put nice pickups in it. So we're going to shoot out the budget guitar with upgraded pickups, like we would all do, versus the top of the reissue heap with the 64 Murphy Lab, versus a mid-grade vintage 335, versus the real deal, the old 59. Every solder joint in this guitar is original. The pots are original. The covers have never been taken off of the pickups. It's pretty straight. It has a back of the neck refin and a refret, and that's really it. So if you want to subscribe to my channel and look for that video, you'll get notified when I drop it. It'll be here pretty soon. So let's dig into these charts and learn some guitar parts. There's some cool chords here. I like to call them college chords, some interesting passing chords that help them get from one place to another that you don't typically hear in pop music. So let's dig in. I want to check in with our old friend, Uncle Country Music, and see how he's doing. Number 5 is a song by Tucker Wetmore called 321. Before we dig in, I'm going to play along with some things, show you what's going on in the intro and maybe the chorus of some of these songs. And I'm playing my old 59 335, all original. It sounds like $1 million, maybe 1.2 million. I didn't give that much for it, so don't worry. I'm playing through my deluxe reverb. That reverb that you're hearing, that's from the amp, and I have no pedals on. Sometimes I may turn on the old Throbak Overdrive boost, which is a fantastic boost. That's it on. And that's it off. First song, Tucker Wetmore. It's called 321. Let's see what's going on here.
Standing on the step, kinda feel like freedom. Malibu, one suitcase, short of leaving. You were the driver, I was the reason. There was mascara on the shirt. If I'd have known where they lived till it's leading, you'd have seen me underneath. Like you tied my heart to a car, turned the key in 3, 2, 1 day coming, baby, these days falling. Prove you proud of me. I don't blame you, I blame me. Sunset till I sink into night. I'm just thinking 3 words too late. Damn girl, you're the one that got away. Counting on the focus numbers, they're still floating and it's almost empty. Take the whiskey rain and to drown you out. Make it do
Okay, so we're in the key of B flat, and it's very acoustic until you get to the chorus, and then there's just some big electrics hanging out, but all of the intro and verse information is acoustic. And it's a cool finger picking pattern. I'm sure that whoever played it, whether it's Brian Sutton, Tim Galloway, Ilya Toshinsky, Todd Lombardo, I'm trying to think of who else is playing acoustic on records. Danny Rader. They're probably capoed 3 and doing. There's some like move from the 3rd, and then over the 6 minor, and then over the 4. It'd be a lot cleaner if I were capoed, right? So, and there's a dobro hook, and I'm sure that there's a capo on the dobro as well, which you can do. They look different than something that kind of clamps the strings down, you know, because dobro action, you're a good ½ inch or so off of the board anyway. So it's usually some sort of bridge, and you clamp things down that way. But it sounds like it's that's the melody, and it's like a he's doing that thing where he's doing a quick move off of the open string, right? So not the easiest guitar to play slide on, but that's the vibe. And then the electrics just feel like they're giving some beef in the chorus, you know. So that's Tucker Wetmore. Hey, if you're really critical of modern country music because you don't like all the programming and the incorporation of other styles of music, this is pretty, I mean, it's still pop, but it's pretty country. It's very acoustic based, you know. That's not a fake acoustic. There's somebody playing really well, and you know, always good musicianship in the country stuff. So let's move on to the next song. Number 4 is Parmalee, and this song is called Cowgirl.
She wanna take me around the town, hit the dive bars, 2-stepping on my Jordans on the dance floor. Shout out tequila, 2 margaritas, and talking with a southern dog. Used to the bass and now I'm wanting a guitar, driving a range but now I wanna get it hard. She's sipping Bud Light, singing the last night. Damn, I might have fell in love. I'm Tennessee tripping, yeah, she got my head spinning like a rodeo. I fell in love with a cowgirl. I'm following her curves like a back road. The way she fitted in the waves make a man never wanna go home. I only came for a minute, now she make me wanna live it. Yeah, Southern charm ain't no joke. Thank God for the cowgirl.
Oh, let's go back there. There's a little walk between the 5 from the 5 chord. So this is in G. I'm going to tune my guitar again. And intro's a little bit different from your standard 1-5 6 minor 4 permutation pop music. It's so it's in Nashville speak. This would be 4 1 6 minor 6 minor 5 4. So in the 4th bar it's split, and there's kind of a move, a walk from the 6 back down to the 4. And then in the chorus, or the pre-chorus, it's a little bit different. They go 4, 1, 5, 6 minor, and then 4, 1, 5, bar of rest with a vocal pickup into the chorus. And this one's got like a drum loop, and you know, this is more pop, which I'm sure some of you just love. You just love it so much. So in the chorus, there's a move here. Let's back it up and listen. I won't play. I'll just listen along.
I fell in love with a cowgirl. I followed her curve like a back road. The way she fitted
6 minor, 6 foot 5 4.
Make a man never wanna go
6.
I only came
6 5 4.
now she make me wanna live it. Yeah, Southern charm ain't no joke. Thank God for
What was that? So the third time through, chorus does this twice. Third time. And then after that, it's
cowgirl. I fell in love with a cowgirl, and I ain't coming home. Started out as
cool. Straight into verse 2. They just cut the turnaround. You know, there's no re-intro with a. There's not even really a lick. Like the hook is these stereo acoustics being strummed in a certain pattern, and then there's like a little mandolin lick, but it's not a super signature thing on the mandolin. So this song has a bit of a tweak chord-wise that you wouldn't expect given the feel. I wouldn't expect the chromatic move. So what they're doing is going from a 5 chord to what I would call a 3/7 over sharp 5, okay? It's not a 3/7 over flat 6, because the flat 6 is not the third of a 3 chord. The sharp 5 is the third of a 3 chord. A little bit of theory for you. That's called enharmonic tones, right, that have the same name. But one of them's wrong, because the third of a chord is its third. It's not the flat 4th, okay? So if you're on a 3, 4, 5, sharp 5, 3, 3, 4, sharp 5. So they're going. It's just a way to move chromatically to the 6th chord. And what's cool is in this voicing that I'm playing, where in the 5 chord, the D, I'm just playing root, 5th, 3rd of that chord. Of the key, it's 5, 2, 7, but it's 1, 5, 3 of the chord. Anytime you take a triad, 1, 5, 3, and you raise the first note, it becomes that chord's 6 as a secondary dominant, okay? I'm going to say that one more time. Triad, this is a 5 chord. We raise the root. Now we've got the 3rd, the flat 7, and the 5th of B7. B is the 6 of D, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, flat 7, 6. Or in the key of G, 5, 4, 3. So the 3 is the 6 of the 5, right? Very common thing to do. You just don't hear it a lot in like pop country. There's other ways to flavor it as well. Like they could have played a 5/7 chord, and then just raising the root gives you a fully diminished 7th chord. Now that's got a different there's almost an anxiety in it. You listen for it, right? So 5, raise the root, 3/7 over sharp 5 is what I call it, because it's a B7 over D sharp, right? D triad, B7 over D sharp to E minor. So ultra poppy song. We can move on. I'm sorry. Riley Green, and I think this song, whoops, lost my tab. Don't Mind If I Do with Ella Langley. Don't mind if I do. All right, let's listen to this.
I've been doing better. I hardly ever think of you lately. It ain't all sunshine. When you cross my mind, I start missing you like crazy. I try to numb the pain,
Oh,
but
cool.
there ain't no damn way. I end up in that place and I'm just one whiskey away. And I don't mind if I do. Drink up the nerve to show up at your house. If you wanna know the truth, it's killing me not holding you right now. I'm one memory away from falling all the way apart, 'cause I might still love you. I hope you don't mind if I do. I almost quit drinking for a while.
Well, I haven't heard Ella Langley yet. We are a minute and a half into the song. She probably jumps in on harmony here in the verse or that chorus. The first thing that I hear that makes me realize where the guitar player is playing this is you hear these two notes. The 3 and the 4 ringing out together. You hear that over the 1 chord in the very first bar of the intro. Listen. And then you hear it especially over the 2. So they're in F. So I'm going to show you what he's doing to get that. Listen to this. Like even in that move, you hear those two notes ring together for a split second, and that's a clue that they're in a drop D voicing, if not a dadgad kind of thing. It's not so dadgadish, so I think the tuning is dropped down a whole, like drop D, but capoed on the 3rd fret. That's what it sounds like to me. Let's listen to the rest of the intro real quick.
I've been doing bit.
Yeah, so capo. Let's tune down. I don't know why I have one of these Kaisers. I don't typically use them. You hear that rub. I love that half note rub, that half step rub, sorry, between the 3rd and the 4. So I'm in the key of F. I'm playing like I'm in drop D, right? I'm in drop D tuning, capoed at the 3rd fret. So this is an F chord. This is the 4 chord, the B flat, which they could have done that, but he didn't. And then you hear it on the 2 chord. So let's hear the intro one more time. This is where he's at. It's something like that.
I've been doing better.
I mean, I don't have the part under my fingers completely, but man, anytime you hear that rub, and it's on it's between the 3 and the 4. There's something with the tuning that's a little bit different. Okay, if you hear that low 1, like to me, you know, with the capo off in the key of D. It's like a less overly pretty and colorful version of Dadgad, because it's just drop D. So for your 1 chord, you have 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 9, or 2. The nice thing about that is being able to play these. It's whatever you want to do. It opens it up. You know, there's one of my favorite writers in town actually only ever plays in drop D. His name's Casey Bethard. Unbelievable songwriter, fantastic dude, and he's always got a gut string guitar, like a classical guitar, and it's in drop D tuning, but a whole step down. So he's actually mostly writing in the key of C. You know, but sometimes he'll play like this is the 1 chord. Be your 4, then 5, 6 minor, so drop D doesn't limit you to just playing like you're in the key of D and moving a capo around to keep that same 1 chord, right? Let's move on. What is our number 2 song in the country? It's Parker McCollum. The song is called What Kind of Man?
Look at that, I done stayed up all night again.
Key of G.
I know I swore the last time would be the last time, but here I am. I ain't too sure.
Got a little bit of that Texas red dirt thing, right?
Clean up my act, I've been thinking about you. Oh baby, here we go one more time. You know it's harder than it looks to walk that line, yeah. I've been running so damn long, there ain't a woman who can settle me down. Wider than a bat out of hell, off the rails and blazing through town. But then you walk in, floating on air, and you look across the room at me. Forget the man I am, what kind of man do you need?
Ah.
So that I would never step foot back inside the Union Valley Church again. But here I stand just north of Oklahoma, trying to wash away my sins. I know damn well what I ought to do. I have to have you, I just can't stand to lose. Oh baby, here we go one more time. You know I love you if you let me.
This is so interesting, this mix and these parts and the playing. It's very interesting to me. There's something about it that really works as a whole, but I'm scratching my head a little bit at the slide part. Like it's pretty out of tune, which, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like there's just some of these younger artists that are, this might not even be intentional, might be subconscious, but they're rebelling against the perfection of in-the-box pop music, which a lot of you cats who are my age and older, you're probably like, yes, I want to hear it a little out of tune. All my favorite records were a little out of tune, or a lot in some cases. And that slide part on the right channel is just... There's like almost nothing other than playing the triad on these 3 strings. And there's a line that they do together at like the end of the chorus, and you know, that's even kind of out of tune. There's a little bit of a, I don't know, the Nashville crew, the Nashville world, and the Texas world are both kind of look at each other and go, really? It's like the Texas guys look at Nashville and they're like, man, why do you have snap tracks and like synth bass and vocal tuning that's so obvious and all this stuff? And then the Nashville guys are like, could you just have tuned your guitar before that take, you know? I find myself in the middle. Like, I work in both of these worlds. You know, I play on a lot of indie Texas records, some bigger ones. One of my favorite guys in Texas is Aaron Watson, and he's a great dude, great writer, great singer, has really cool ideas for records. We did an entire record of classic country covers, but all women's covers. So we did 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. We did, what's that song by the Judds? Grandpa Tell Me How It Used to Be, you know. There's, that whole record's cool. It's called Cover Girl. Really great. You should check it out. It's awesome. But there's this rebellion against the pop sheen in Texas that I respect, you know. Like, I'm not a synth guy. I don't program drums. I don't play, I don't know, really weird keyboard sounds. I operate in that world often, you know. A lot of the Music Row stuff and the records I play on, like, intonation is a big deal. Being able to play in tune, at least in tune enough, you know. Like, the problem is a lot of these, the keyboard player on the session, every patch he brings up is going to be perfectly tempered, you know. When I walk into a session, half the time Brent, the guy that tunes all the pianos in Nashville, is just getting up and finishing up tuning the piano for the day. You know, they almost have it retuned every day or every project. And sometimes notes drift, and the better piano players like Gordon Mote, gosh, who else do I see on records? David Dorn, Will Houchins, Luke Mosley. There's so many guys. Alex Wright, Dave Cohen. I even see Jimmy Nichols sometimes. Moose is amazing. Sometimes they avoid certain keys because you can tell that it drifted a little bit. It was tempered to be right for the majority of keys that you're going to be playing that day, you know. But anyway, how did I get on this? Oh yeah, the song, these parts. So the left channel guitar part is like way back here, like kind of in a cave. There's so much reverb. And then the right channel, sorry, my monitors are on my left and right, which is different than yours, so I'm hearing the slide part over here. The right channel slide is like, you know, you can kind of tell that person's not like a really, really studied slide player, you know. Slide to me, my own standard is like, it's either perfect, meaning like you're 98, 99% in tune the entire time, or it's just sour. And there's like some sour moments, but I don't know. I was just talking in another video about replacing my old saddles on my Telly, and like I used that guitar on every record I played on over the last 5 years with the original non-intonated saddles. I don't know. And then I started putting other saddles on it, and now I'm kind of like, okay, the Glendales sound really good. I could leave it like that, and it's going to be more in tune all over the neck, and it sounds pretty close to original. But man, did I lose like 1 or 2% from those tiny steel saddles? I don't know. Check out my last video if you're interested in that rabbit hole. I might I might end up going back to the originals. Okay, so in this song, it's key of G. There's like the intro part on the left channel is cool. It's something like that, but it's, you know, there's loads of reverb. The reverb is very forward, and it's also kind of down in the mix. So let's continue. Acoustic comes in, bass. Here comes that slide.
Look at that, I done stayed up all night again. I know it's for the last time, would be the last time, but here I am. I ain't too sure what they want me to do. Clean up my act, I've been thinking about you. Oh baby, here we go, one more time. You know it's harder than it looks to walk that line, yeah. I've been running so damn long.
Man, that guitar that starts the song off is so far back in the mix. It's kind of crazy. I imagine a stage where he's like 100 feet behind the drummer. But that's how we're mixing things these days. Drums and vocal very far forward. Guitars aren't nearly as big as they were when you were listening to like Zeppelin 4, right? Another thing I notice on that slide part is it sounds like he's using my favorite tuning. I'm hearing the top note of the triad. So what's happening? This is my favorite tuning to play slide in, and I call it double drop D. It's almost open G, but you leave your A string where it is instead of tuning it down to G. That's how you get to open G. You just drop the two E strings to D, and you drop your A string to G. And then from left to right, or sorry, from low to high, you have D, G, D, G, B, D. So in terms of the chord, it's 5, 1, 5, 1, 3, 5. And that 1, 3, 5 is this nice triad on top. So I was hearing those voicing. I was hearing that high note that you can't get with a flat bar without tuning that high string to D. But then I also heard somewhere where he was going, playing those low power chords, you know. Like that's just G. G, D, G. And I'm a little bit out. So then my 4, my C chord, is at the 10th fret, just the power chord. And your 5 chords at the 12th fret. I think we were just talking about playing with a low D string in the key of G, you know, like you can do that. So double drop D, if you're a slide player and you're not using that, you're missing out. Also just a good tuning to learn slide in, because you know you can really tell if your slide isn't straight and you get, you know, playing those low power chords, and then you can hear the triad really well with a straight bar, and so you kind of get different voicings that you can really get your ear to hone in on. Slide playing is a lot about your ear, and it's a little bit about your eyes. You've got to watch. You kind of watch, looking ahead to where you're going. You know, if I'm coming down here up to the 12th fret, I'm looking there before I get there. That's kind of crucial to landing on it. I mean, some people might be just so in tune, but the thing is, you know, you think of fiddle players, they're not really staring at their hand the whole time. Also, the neck is a lot shorter, and smaller movements make big differences, drastically different pitches. guitar neck, like, it's pretty big, and so if you're just kind of feeling your way around above the fretboard, you know, maybe you're feeling frets and you use that to kind of find where your slide is hovering. I've never done that, but so I'm looking, you know, kind of everybody I watch play slide, from Derek Trucks to Blake Mills to Dwayne Allman to Joe Walsh, you know, Joey Landreth. They're all, you're looking ahead. You're not staring at your hand. You're looking ahead when you make moves, you know. So, all right, last song, number 1 song. This is Lainey Wilson, Somewhere Over Laredo. Little fiddle in there, piano fiddle.
Caught me a red-eye flight out of Houston. Found me a window seat with a view.
She got a really cool
Headed
voice.
out west for South California. One Tito's in, I'm thinking about you. In that little border town where the desert glows gold when the sun goes down. My head's 30,000 feet in the clouds, knowing 20 minutes from now I'll be somewhere over Laredo, dreaming about those rodeo nights. Laid there on the banks of the Rio, new silver buckle on your jeans next to mine. Couple wrong for each other, Lone Star across the lovers, born to get gone from the get-go. But you're on my mind every time I'm chasing this neon rainbow. Somewhere over Laredo. I'm flying high on the 737. Yeah, boy, I might level with these stars. You'd think I'd be 5 miles closer to heaven, but I reckon heaven's down there where you are. Do you stop and stare at the Texas sky up in the air and wonder if I'm somewhere over Laredo, dreaming about those rodeo nights, laid there on the banks of the Rio, new silver buckle on your jeans next.
Okay, chords. So the intro, we're in C sharp. 1 to 2 minor, 1/3, back to 2 minor. And then when you get to the chorus, she sings the melody from Somewhere Over the Rainbow for the first couple of notes. It's like just enough to not get sued, probably. I don't know. But she goes to the flat 7, 4, 2 minor. Let's get to the chorus. I'll play these chords with you.
Laredo.
Right here.
I'll be somewhere over Laredo, dreaming about those rodeo nights, laid there on the banks of the Rio, new silver buckle on your jeans next to mine. Couple wrong for each other, Lone Star across the lovers, born to get gone from the get-go. But you're on my mind every time I'm chasing this neon rainbow. Somewhere over Laredo.
So, she's here are the chords, right? We're still in the key of C sharp. We're going 1, flat, 7, 4, 2 minor. And you might be asking, why isn't it 5, 4, 1, 6 minor? why isn't that it? It fits into the key of F sharp as a 5-4-1-6 minor. Well, the problem is the vocal melody is in C sharp, okay? The entire song up to that point is 1, 2, 1 over 3, 2, 2 minor 7, really. The whole melody is C sharp. Melody's king, right? In her case, melody is queen in the song. And I know a lot of people fight me on this all the time. They're like, well, that's C sharp mixolydian. She switches, like some people will hear that and say she switches to C sharp mixolydian. And I don't think of modes as keys. I think of the key as the melody, okay? The melody is still in C sharp. That's why this is a flat 7. It's not operating as a 4 chord in the key of F sharp because the melody's not in F sharp over a 4 chord. It's in the key of C sharp over a flat 7 chord. So we are borrowing chords from other keys, okay? This is a 4 chord. A 4 chord has a purpose. It has a sound. When people tell me that's not a 4, it's like you're looking at the color blue and saying, that's not blue, that's green. I know that's green. And then there's a move where they do that twice in the chorus, but then it goes back to kind of the verse progression for a minute. 4, 5, 6 minor. Now we've hit a 6 minor. And then we borrow another different chord. That's a 2 over sharp 5. So 6 minor, 5, 2 over sharp 5, 4, 5. So, yeah, just because you hear new chords introduced, you know, that's harmony, right? It's still things shifting under a melody that's still in a key with a resolution that's particular to that key. So it's pop music. It doesn't move with the intentionality of a jazz progression. It's not like they're, you know, 2/5 wanting their way through the chart or whatever and using secondary dominants to get to other chords or whatever. There is a secondary dominant, but they don't use it to get to a different, they don't use it as a dominant. They use it as a passing chord between 4 and 5. So 6 minor, 5, sorry, 4. They go. So it's just a color. It's a different color to hang on for a second, and then they push into that 4 chord. 5, 1. Man, this was a more organic, acoustic-y top 5. I really like it. It's very not canned, you know? And there's great singing. Lainey is a fantastic singer. Parker McCollum's a great singer. Everybody's singing was really good. The Parmalee song was pretty pop. Even the Tucker Wetmore song was a little bit pop, but you know, it was mostly acoustic with that dobro thing. We're in the key of B flat, G, F, which was drop D tuning, capo 3rd fret, right? Playing like you're in D. And then Parker McCollum was back to G, and Lainey Wilson was in C sharp. So, you know, kind of all over the place in terms of the keys. If you want to know how to do this kind of stuff, and you, I don't know, are just kind of stuck with being able to hear where to go on the fretboard, kind of anywhere on the neck, that's what my courses are about. So I have a couple of courses out that I did with my friend Brett. Brett's helped a lot of us do courses here in town, just to introduce sort of our mindset, what we're listening to, what we're thinking when we're playing. If you want to be the kind of player that plays cool parts, that knows how to support a melody, that knows how to fit in with a band, that, you know, what I always say is if you want to play compelling music, that's been my goal ever since I decided to move to Nashville. Like, I want to play the kind of parts that make people sort of lean in a little bit, that make them think, oh, that's right. Nothing else was going to fit in this song but that, you know. my favorite guitar players, that's all they ever did. Like Mike Campbell, can you imagine anything else in any spot of a song other than what he played there? Can you even think like, yeah, I like that, but this would be better? I don't think anybody can honestly say that. Like, that's his genius. He's a once-in-a-generation kind of musician for that stuff, you know? So anyway, there's a lot more of exploring this kind of stuff, a lot of just nuggets I've gleaned over a almost 2-decade career making music in Nashville. So check those out if you'd like. They're on sale this week for 55% off. That's kind of a big deal. So you can get both of them for less than the price of one. So anyway, link in the description. Talk to you later. Bye.